This is a scene here playing out in Minneapolis. This is part of the advanced police presence that we saw come over the course of really minutes when the local police showed up at the fire department, or with the fire department, I should say, on that building we showed you that was burning. This is among the state patrol unit that was advancing up the street, saying and scattering the protesters at that point for people to clear the area. And so we walked away. I'm sorry?
You're under arrest.
Okay. Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir? Why am I under arrest, sir?
Officer's here with CNN and he's on the air right now.
Okay.
We're arresting him live on CNN. We told you before that we are with CNN.
If you're just tuning in, you are watching our correspondent, Omar Jimenez, being arrested by state police in Minnesota. We're not sure why our correspondent is being arrested.
Hang on 1 second, Allison. Let's listen into what these officers are saying. That is an American television reporter, Omar Jimenez, being led away by police officers. He clearly identified himself as a reporter. He was respectfully explaining to the state police that our CNN team was there and moving away as they would request. And then for some reason, he was just taken in to police custody.
Well, well, well. Look who's suddenly bitching about tyranny. What up, guys? Total Control 871. That was CNN's Omar Jimenez being arrested while covering the footage of George Floyd's public execution. Excuse me, sneeze coming on. And then it's gone. It'll be back, I know. I'm sorry, but I did have to just simply point out the disgusting hypocrisy of corporate media. God knows they've been doing a lot of... they've been guilty of hypocrisy in the past. This is nothing new. But what we see, okay, is that for the race riot protest, we see the change in language, the demeanor, how the whole event is to be covered. Okay, when it came to the anti-lockdown protests, there was none of this. We were described as savage animals, gun-toting, storming the Capitol. Okay, never mind the fact that it was the pro-pandemic people who actually started violence first, burning down churches and sabotaging places of business. Okay. I got my talking points here, and I'm going to see what we can do to get through them. This is a munitions episode. Munitions episodes aren't exactly supposed to be TED Talk in length, so I'm going to see if I can move through it kind of quickly. Yes, this is a lightning rod. I am beginning to speculate. Not that I'm saying that it was planned. I don't think that. But I do believe that once it did happen, corporate media and the government have decided to co-opt it and use it as a lightning rod. What does that mean? It means that it's going to be used in the same fashion of like a stalking horse, the way Hollywood created certain movies, a certain type of race movies that would create and corral the minds of minorities. Movies such as 12 Years a Slave, The Help, Inglourious Bastards. These are movies. These are movies that cater to highlighting, pinpointing a very, very specific and glaring form of racism and or tyranny. It's meant to create a type of false contrast. It's meant to send a message to the minority that unless the person that you're upset with is a slave owner, Holocaust, Nazi, the blatant racism that went on in the movie The Help, if you don't fall within this very, very glaring example of social atrocity, well then guess what? There's no tyranny. It's all in your mind. So that's why I always had a lot of trouble with movies, I think 12 Years a Slave, did it win an Oscar? But Amistad did not. Right. Amistad did not. And those are two very, very different movies, if you know what I mean. However, in regards to the munition report, I want you all to start paying close attention to the Floyd riots. You don't necessarily have to pay attention to this one. Just look to your history. The kind of advancement of our modern day civil rights, civil rights that go to talk about things that aren't as glaring as a Holocaust or slavery, okay? Things that are a bit more dog whistle in nature, okay? Police have used their shield, color of justice, egregiously many decades, just many decades. This is all coming to light. This is all now being reined in. As much as I appreciate Dr. King's legacy of nonviolence, the truth is, the traction that we've gained in the modern era, it came from riots like this, okay? It looks ugly. We get our black leaders, the deceased family members, survivors, get them on camera from a podium, call for an end to violence, call for peace. What is it? Rodney King and his famous "Can't we all just get along?" But of course, the reality is, it was only the uprising. You can argue about what they're destroying. Is it their property, corporate America's property, the government's property? You can have that argument all you want. Nevertheless, the display of violence. You know what? I didn't queue this thing up, but you know what? Oh, what the hell? Come on, let me take you someplace real quick. Bear with me, people. I didn't plan on going here, but I am. I do feel it is important. Star Trek, terrorism, deleted scene. Oh yes. Yeah, you read that right. Let's what you're about to hear. What you're about to hear did not make it into the final clip, if I'm not mistaken. Powers that be felt that this particular dialogue, this bit of dialogue, just wasn't, I don't know, you never know what happens in Hollywood. The studio, the network, whomever, did not care for this piece of dialogue, and they made Paramount delete it. Let's give a listen.
I'm finding it difficult to understand many aspects of Ansata conduct. Much of their behavioral norm would be defined by my program as unnecessary and unacceptable.
By my program as well, Data.
But if that is so, Captain, why are their methods so often successful? I have been reviewing the history of armed rebellion, and it appears that terrorism is an effective way to promote political change.
Yes, it can be. But I have never subscribed to the theory that political power flows from the barrel of a gun.
Yet there are numerous examples when it was successful. The independence of the Mexican state from Spain, the Irish unification of 2024, and the Kenzie Rebellion.
Yes, I'm aware of them.
Then would it be accurate to say that terrorism is acceptable when all options for peaceful settlement have been foreclosed?
Data, these are questions that mankind has been struggling with throughout history. Your confusion is only human.
I bet it is. Confusion only human. Struggling with this since the beginning of time. I told you, truth sometimes take you to places that you don't want to go. Truth is neither on your side or against you. Truth is just simply truth is truth. And it sometimes it can be very hard to deal with. Is this what we need to do? Do we need to mirror race riot tactics to force this government to get off of our neck? What the government and the media is doing, they are, add this into your munitions, your weapons locker. What they're doing is that they are fortifying, they're galvanizing, they are getting people worked up into an emotional fervor. After independent journalism like mine, you'll suddenly see a flood of dead children, dead this, dead that. There's something that, because I'm jump around my list here. There's something that I want you guys to bear in mind, and whoop, almost lost it. To bear in mind and think about. You see, this kind of protest and I want everybody to understand this, to think very carefully about this. As a matter of fact, it was one of the last things I said to Ian when I spoke to him from Attila's gym on the phone. Our politics might not necessarily line up. You know, this might just simply be a temporary alliance to, that's not that I'm saying that he's allied with me. I don't think he even knows about my YouTube channel. You wouldn't have your rights. Women's suffragists, black civil rights, the disabled, if I'm not mistaken, during the whole healthcare debate, you had a lot of wheelchairs and walkers and canes and crutches and guide dogs. An awful lot of that was at our state capitol. Okay? Immigration rights, legal or illegal, they stormed the capitol. Are you people thinking? I don't think you are. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for the First Amendment. Now, granted, when I say that, destruction of property and theft is not covered under the First Amendment. But you know what I'm talking about. The right to assemble and protest and make it heard. Okay? Do you really want to trust that to an online rally as if that shit's even effective? You see, I get we might not all necessarily agree. Hell, even the Ku Klux Klan, I get it. I get it. That's some crazy. Matter of fact, I even made a notation here. You know, start joining forces with people you hate, even if it's just a temporary alliance. I would love to partake in a First Amendment march comprised of all of America's minorities. And yeah, as long as they're willing to remain nonviolent, let the Nazis and the Klan join it too. The disabled with their wheelchairs and walkers, black civil rights, women's suffragette, come on, get the old pink pussy hat out. Put it on your head. Let's all start marching together. March for your right to march. March for your right to stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder. Right to not have your mouth fucking muzzled. Or are you too obtuse to see that that's where it's all going? Let me move on here. This is turning into a TED Talk. I'm sorry. What I got here? Fear of no outbreak. Yes, people. You see, with our protest that's going on, our big pharmacy, government, corporate media, they're actually taking a gamble and a risk. What's going to happen is, after all of that shoulder-to-shoulder protest, they're going to have a hell of a time manufacturing outbreaks. Okay? They're going to have a hard time explaining when the outbreak doesn't happen. Well, you know, we saw a lot of them, they had their mask on, this, that, and the other. A lot of them did, and a lot of them didn't. And none of them was social distancing. All the tent poles that you've been crafting, all that hard work, all that psychological mind fuckery that you've been doing for the past 3 months. One race riot and it's all down the drain. Because you can't even keep your own lies straight. You might be viral shedding. Uh-oh, looky. Here's the CDC with a brand new report from their alternative facts. Well, we see that, if a person still tests positive, if they're still testing positive, and it's been weeks, well, then they're not shedding virus anymore and they can go back to work. Huh? You're telling me that somebody that actually tests positive, got sick, recovered, still tests positive, but they can, positive for the virus, not the antibody, the virus. But we are to regard them as no longer shedding the virus. But a person like me who remains healthy, I'm to be treated as the bubonic plague? I got a story on that. Let's take a look. It's a humdinger. My COVID-19 immunity passport. I really want you guys to, I'm going to link this. This immunity passport, it's some shit. Give it a read. Basically, the gist of this report, it kind of talks about a lot of what I said. You are literally punishing the healthy for being healthy. What we got here with a law professor who has written a lot about legal issues, but is concerned about the legal ethical ramifications of an immunity passport. I have it written down here, people, in my notes. Mark of the Beast versus immunity passport. You know, I get it. Hold on. I think I may have jumped to this a bit premature. Is this? We can get rid of banned Star Trek. All right, Total Control. What have you got for us? Okay. This is what has happened to this church. Maliciously burnt to the ground. Okay. I had some people in the comment section. Oh, come on. Beelzebub, Mark of the Beast. Okay. I'm not going to launch into a whole theological debate. All I'm saying is, how much can happen before you're no longer willing to call it just a coincidence? Yes or no, to engage in business, to buy, sell, or trade, as spoken of in Revelation 13, do you have to have a particular item? Exactly. Thank you, Total Control. An item like this. Immunity passport. Or AKA Mark of the Beast. Mark of the Beast. But you say it's crazy. Well, this is what we're talking about. Not only could their use violate U.S. disability protections, told you, Walmart's on very shaky ground here. They could also enable discrimination and foster a two-tiered society in which many are left behind. There's something very particular here. The concept of immunity passport is not novel, no pun intended. Vaccination cards, for example, demonstrate immunity to specific diseases and aren't necessarily problematic. For example, yellow fever, vaccination cards are required to travel a certain country, and university students to Florida, Colorado. I could so segue right there into how a lot of white colleges have the problem with meningitis and stuff like that. But that's not what today's about. Let's see. But in those cases, there is readily available vaccine that allows anyone who gets one access to the country, yada yada. See, what do I want here? I believe such certification would be legally and ethically permissible in the courts. Courts have had this employer as a vaccinated prerequisite. So, absent a vaccine, I think this is what I want. However, some countries and companies are already looking for ways to establish immunity through antibody testing. This is problematic because it's unclear if there is immunity from subsequent infection, and if there is immunity, it's uncertain how long it lasts. The legal issues. Here we go. I hope you're paying attention, Walmart Risk Management. The American with Disabilities Protection Act protects those who have a disability which is defined as a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, and those perceived by others as having such an impairment for discrimination in the workplace. Although courts have never considered lack of immunity to a disease as such an impairment, a legislative history of the ADA is broad enough to allow such an interpretation. This means that employers can't discriminate against workers based on whether they have or don't have immunity. So all of that shit that they talk about, viral shedding, you might be viral shedding. You see, Officer Venuto, nor any of the Brosnan security, nor any of the Walmart employees can say I am or am not positive for COVID-19. And more in addition, they have absolutely no science whatsoever that talks about, be it, I don't want to peel off a piece of paper towel. Paper towel's at a premium. Should this go to court, Walmart cannot say factually that this towel, this wash towel, can stop the transmission of COVID-19. They can't say a wash towel. They can't say their N90 mask, their medical mask. They can't say the scarves that are used. They can't say my paper towel. And I can't say my paper towel can or cannot stop it. These things, when they sit there on your face, especially when we're getting into summer, I hope you realize you're putting a petri dish on your face, your petri mask, as I like to say. You guys, the masks are at the bottom of your pockets. They're on the dashboard of your car and your cup holders, and they're just getting nastier and nastier, and it's slapped on the face and whatnot. And what was it? I think Valley out, MSNBC, Valley Vashi, whatever. I can't say his name. I couldn't help but notice that the bands on around his ear was twisted, which meant that he had his mask on backwards, which meant that the side that had been on the outside all day long was now on the inside, and you're just breathing. It is a reason why they told you the masks aren't really effective. Not for this purpose. Masks are to be used in an acute environment, okay? I'll tell you what, I will agree, a mask probably is prudent in subway tunnels and stuff like that. Elevator cars, but in large, very cavernous rooms like the governor's hall room where they give their press briefings, okay? Yeah, you're right. Those are large and cavernous enough where you don't need to wear a mask. So why are you making only certain people wear a mask and not yourself? Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. You got your ding magic powers where you can nullify your viral shedding under the correct venue. Your venue determines your virulence, right? Right. Okay. So, although courts have never considered a lack of immunity to such a disease as an impairment legislative, did I read this part already? This means that employers cannot discriminate against workers based on whether they have immunity or don't. The Equal Opportunity Commission, the agency that get the second halls in. I was smacking on the one halls. Put your halls in your refrigerator so they don't get sticky and nasty. Workplace Protections, however, has classified COVID-19 as a direct threat to the workplace. So despite ADA protections, employers can test employees for infection before letting them return to work. And someone who tests positive for COVID-19 could be excluded from the workplace until they recover. Hold on, there's more of a caveat. But, the big but employers cannot go one step further and require employees to show that they are immune to COVID-19 in order to work. Again, we're talking about the whole mark of the beast immunity passport. It also kind of lets you know why you probably shouldn't be getting tested. You don't want the government or your employer or anybody to have your status. They will abuse this power. But employers cannot go one step further. Let me circle that. Cannot. Go one step further and require employees to show that they are immune to COVID-19 in order to work. Since the lack of immunity is not a direct threat, to the workplace, employers. See? You are punishing me and many others for being immune. Okay? You pick and you choose when somebody is viral shedding and when they're not. Okay? The ADA also protects people who do not have disability but are regarded as having a disability. Uh-oh, more bad news for Walmart. I was treated as somebody that was infectious when in fact I am not. For example, if a cab company fires a driver because of a mistaken belief that she has epilepsy, the action would violate the ADA. That's because it treated a non-disabled driver as disabled. Now, I understand here in this, they're talking about an employee. I'm not an employee of Walmart, but nevertheless, you're still violating the same ADA laws. You are treating me as if I am infectious without any scientific basis to base that on. All you have is a decree from a governor who was told by medical personnel who have never conducted scientific controls on masks, meaning none of these. There are no tests on masks. I mean, there might be tests on some of the medical grade masks, but the governor says that we don't have to wear medical grade masks. Okay, meaning the CDC nor anybody does this thing have a tag? Look at this tag. This is Mainstay. This towel came from Mainstay. So that means Walmart, interestingly enough. Okay, so this Mainstay has never conducted a medical, an actual, clinical trial, a test to be able to say whether I am holding it up to my face, around my face, whatever. Nobody can say. So this means Walmart won't even have an expert to haul into court to say something. They can bring their expert in and pontificate, but the expert has no actual medical science. And the problem with pontification is, I might not be a lawyer, but I definitely watched enough Law and Order to know that when one side opens a door, the other side gets to use it too. That means I can start pontificating. That means I can start talking about how, let's just say, chloroquine. Chloroquine is a simple treatment. I can also start pontificating about this is nothing more than a hoax. I can say that this is nothing more than the flu, and that there's nothing to it at all. This is all normally it's tossed out in court as conjecture. The other side would immediately object to it. I'm not qualified to make these statements. And guess what? You're not qualified to say that this material qualifies as a proper mask to deter the transmission of a virus, any bacteria, if anything. But like I say, you keep them on your face long enough, they're going to become a petri dish. Facebook, plug my page. I keep forgetting to do this too. Guys, this is, let's see if I can can I back away? Can I back to it? Yes. Hi guys, it's my Facebook page, Amir Bafi. I am using the same avatar, Red Sun Batman avatar on my Facebook page as I am on my YouTube avatar. So hopefully that can help you find the page. I am opening up my page. I normally don't accept or make friend requests, but given given how things are starting to unfold in Silicon Valley, God, it's like a snow globe in front of me right now. I can see it because the sun's coming through. It's the dust, the pollen. God, it's no wonder I'm choking to death. God forbid the YouTube channel gets shut down. If I start speaking too much truth and it gets shut down, everybody can come find me here at Facebook and we can regroup, start a new platform somewhere, be it another YouTube channel or TikTok or whatever. They say TikTok shit is all not secure, but man, nothing is secure. So yeah, I got that written here. To plug my Facebook page. Red Sun start. And the anti-life is the finish. Anti-life equation. Lord of Light versus Chaos. Lords of Chaos. I'm not going to get into the whole Lords of Light versus Lords of Chaos thing. That might be a little bit too ethereal. It just suffices to say that I really don't know if your heads can wrap around it or not. People like to think of law and order as being a good thing. Generally it is. But the problem with that is that when law and order becomes corrupt and decadent unto itself, we begin to see things like our Red Sun Soviet Superman begin to emerge. You often hear law enforcement talk about how they're not racist, they don't hate black people. It probably is true. A lot of them would be able to say that under the spell of Wonder Woman's golden lasso. Just like Soviet Superman could probably indeed say that I am just trying to help the entire world. Remember, the lasso compels you to speak the truth as you know it, not necessarily what actually is true. The anti-life equation. Come on, take a look.
Secret of the universe. This is as far as I dare to go. I warn you one final time. Only a 12th level intellect has the slightest hope of surviving what you are about to experience.
Then I'm overqualified. Touched my heart. Oh yes, there is still some small part of me that knows mercy. I will end your pain with something special I've been saving for just this occasion. I'm going to carve out your heart and put it on a pike in my throne room. As much as I'd enjoy seeing that, first you've got some business with me. Sorry it took me so long. I had to go get my power suit. You would dare challenge me? Insanity. Oh, I'm not here to challenge you, Darkseid. Quite the contrary. I've got something you want. The only thing you want. The anti-life equation. My gift to you. Yes, it is.
Yes, and of course, dark side is spelled SEID. I'll leave it to you to figure that out. What the hell? What's it saying? Multi-window not available. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? What in the hell? I tell you, this phone is junk. What is going on? Alright, maybe if we ditch a window. I tell you, you know they're watching. Yeah, sure enough, they are watching. Yeah, if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that we started out with a full battery, and we're plugged in, you know. But you know, the extra power drain, it's so that they can watch the recording process in real time. They don't have to wait until I upload it to my page. So like I say, as soon as I started criticizing, you know who, then all of a sudden we got technical difficulties. Hey, make of it what you will. Make of it what you will. All right, guys. So the anti-life equation. What is the anti-life equation? And it's really spooky when I started talking about the anti-life equation. The anti-life equation is what our Red Sun Superman wanted. It's what our government wants right now. Total and complete compliance. The anti-life equation, that thing that Lex was holding out in his hand, it's something, it's a power that would be able to control my mind. It's not just simply imprisoning a dissident like me. No. They want more than that. They want to be able to remove your ability to think for yourself. And not like a surgical lobotomy way, but just a mind, the mother of all mind conditioning, the mother of all brainwashing. That's what the anti-life equation is. A lot of people don't understand that. All right. So unfortunately, this episode has been broken into, hacked, and all that shit, and I guess I can't go back to my camera. Let's see what happens if I do that, and do that. Am I now sideways? Are we still recording? I have no idea, but I bet I'm sideways, aren't I? Let's go back to this. Okay, let's check our timer. Okay, so it's still the same thing. I don't know, I'm pretty sure I was sideways though. So I guess I'll have to wrap up here. Red Sun Superman, come on, let's try. See if we can, wow. Multi-window, let's say it again. I'm a slow read. Window not available. App pair not available. Why is that? I am telling you. Just junk. I tell you, start talking truth. You start talking truth and shit happens. That is the end. Comics under pressure from government. What was I going to say about that? Yeah, why would the comics talk about the anti-life? Because that's what communism is, the ultimate brainwashing. And the reason why comics would come up with a character like Darkseid, a lot of comics happened back in the McCarthy era, McCarthyism, all that scare tactics and stuff like that. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, was McCarthy just another Donald Trump? It wasn't that the threat wasn't there, but the threat itself put in proxy, put in place a buffoon to make wild, crazy, cockamamie claims. Therefore, anybody who were actually intelligent enough to see the actual plot, it's too late now. You've had the buffoon already cry foul, and nobody's going to listen very much indeed, like the boy who cried wolf. So yeah, we have our boy who cried wolf, communist conundrum right now. And comics, they were under pressure. A lot of the government thought that comics were promoting communism, so comics cooked up characters like Darkseid to make it clear that things like our Red Sun Superman, Darkseid, anti-life equation, this is not the American way. All right, guys, check out my Facebook page. Hey, I'm gonna tinker around and see what I can do with Facebook videos. I know nothing about those things. I have to see what I can do. See if we can venture into different platforms, because I tell you, with the kind of hacking as we're seeing, God only knows how much longer to be honest with you, I'm shocked that the channel lasted this long. I'm a very brutally honest, independent journalist. I don't coddle to political correctness at all. I'm shocked I lasted this long. Alright guys, that's it. Total Control 871, and this has been your very long munitions report.